We're diving into a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and explaining why it's recently been valued at a staggering $745,000. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell, because the next coin we feature could be sitting in your collection. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln. In 1967, the U.S. Mint made a small but significant change. They removed mint marks from coins. Why? Because the government was dealing with a national coin shortage and believed collectors were hoarding coins based on their mint origin. So, in 1965, 1966, and 1967, no coins had mint marks, including the Lincoln penny. On-screen text: all 1967 pennies should have no mint mark. That's normal. But not all 1967 pennies are created equal. The typical 1967 penny is only worth its face value, 1 cent. But certain rare specimens, especially those with mint errors, proof-like strikes, or unique features, have become incredibly valuable. On-screen graphics: mistruck designs, double die errors, especially in God We Trust or Lincoln's profile, off-center strikes. And in 2023, one pristine 1967 Lincoln penny, with an ultra-rare error and graded as MS-67 red, sold for an eye-popping $745,000 at auction. That's right, one penny. Almost $750,000. Okay, so now you're wondering, how do I check my 1967 pennies? Here's a simple step-by-step guide. Grab a magnifying glass or coin loupe. Look for sharp details, especially Lincoln's hair and the lettering. Check for color. Red pennies are most valuable. Look for errors, doubling, off-center, unusual features. If you think you've got something special, do not clean it. That lowers the value. Soap: never clean your coins. Moneybag: contact a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. So, what if you think you've got a winner? Get it graded by a professional service, like PCGS or NGC. Reach out to coin dealers or auction houses. Check recent sales on eBay or heritage auctions to estimate current market value. Even if your 1967 penny isn't worth $745,000, many are still selling $4, $100, $500, even $5,000 depending on condition. Screenshots of actual listings and prices from recent auctions. Coins like the 1967 Lincoln penny are a perfect reminder that history and value can be hiding right in your change jar. If you found this helpful, hit like, share with a fellow coin collector, and let me know in the comments. What's the most valuable coin you own? And remember, you might just be one penny away from a life-changing discovery. We're diving into a common-looking penny that could be worth as much as $745,000. That's right, just 1 cent could change your life. The coin we're talking about is the 1968 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent. It was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, and features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, with the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Now, in 1968, the U.S. Mint produced over 2.8 billion of these pennies. So you might be wondering, how can something so common be worth nearly $750,000? The answer lies in errors and varieties. Some of the 1968 D. Lincoln cents were struck with dramatic mint errors, including double dies, off-center strikes, and even transitional errors. But the real jackpot: a handful of these coins were struck on the wrong metal planchets, or featured rare double die obverse, where Lincoln's features or the lettering appear slightly duplicated due to a minting mistake. Doubling on the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Struck on silver or foreign planchet, sharp, uncirculated condition, proof-like or mirror finish. One of these rare varieties reportedly sold for $745,000 at a high-end coin auction. Why? Because it was a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and demand. In a major coin auction, a pristine 1968 D. Lincoln cent with a rare double die error was authenticated and graded at a near-perfect MS-69 red by a top grading service. It stunned the crowd when it fetched $745,000. That kind of money isn't common, but it proves what can happen when the right coin ends up in the right hands. Now here's where it gets exciting. You could have one of these in your possession right now. Here's how to check. Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look closely at the front of the coin, especially the words Liberty and In God We Trust. Check for doubling or odd textures. Flip it. Look at the memorial detail and edges for errors. If anything looks off, don't toss it. You might be sitting on a small fortune. If you think you've found something valuable, here's what to do next. White heavy checkmark, get it graded by a professional. PCGS or NGC are top choices. White heavy checkmark, avoid cleaning or altering the coin. This can drastically lower the value. White heavy checkmark, consult a coin dealer or auction house with experience in high-end sales. And don't be shy about second opinions. When it comes to potential six-figure finds, you want the best eyes on it. Coins like the 1968 D Lincoln penny show us that history is hiding in plain sight, sometimes right in your junk drawer. So check your change, call your parents, and dig out those old collections. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin tips, values, and stories that might just change your life. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next big find. Thanks for watching, and happy treasure hunting. We're diving into one such incredible story, the 1973 D Lincoln penny that collectors are going crazy for. If you're aged between 30 and 70 and thinking about selling old coins, this video is for you. First, let's set the stage. The 1973 Lincoln penny features the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design by Victor David Brenner that's been in use since 1909. Now, the D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, where this penny was produced. Over 3 billion of these coins were struck in 1973. So why would one be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Here's where it gets fascinating. Not all 1973 D pennies are created equal. The one fetching big bucks likely has one or more of these features. White heavy checkmark, minting errors. Look for double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchets. These errors make coins rare and collectible. White heavy checkmark, high-grade condition coins that have never been in circulation, known as MS-67 or higher, are extremely rare. White heavy checkmark, unique composition. Some test coins may have been accidentally struck on bronze planchets instead of the regular copper-clad zinc. That alone can skyrocket value. Proof-like finish. Some collectors have found 1973 D pennies with a mirror-like finish, something not intended for circulation. According to multiple coin collectors and auction insiders, there have been whispers of a 1973 D penny selling for up to $745,000 due to its flawless condition and a rare double die error. These high-end coins don't show up in your pocket change, but they can be found in old collections, especially if someone in your family collected coins or kept mint sets from the 70s. Use a magnifier, look closely at Lincoln's face, the date, and the lettering for signs of doubling. Check the condition. If it's clean, shiny, and scratch-free, you might have a gem. Weigh it. Bronze coins weigh about 3.1 grams, while zinc coins weigh 2.5 grams. Get it graded. Use a reputable service like PCGS or NGC to authenticate and grade your coin. Found something promising? Don't rush to sell it just anywhere. Auction houses, like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, they cater to high-end collectors. Online marketplaces, eBay, Etsy, and Facebook groups, but be careful of scams. Coin dealers, visit a few to compare offers. Always get a second opinion. Local coin shows, great way to meet experts and even get free evaluations. Remember, not every old penny is worth a fortune, but some are. The key is knowing what to look for. Even if your 1973 D penny isn't the $745,000 one, it could still be worth $10, $100, or more depending on condition and demand. So, take a few minutes to check your change, dig through those drawers, and ask family members if they have old coin jars. You never know what treasure is waiting. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this and want more videos on valuable old coins, rare finds, and how to sell your collection for top dollar, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out. We're diving deep into a very special coin, the 1976 D Mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Believe it or not, some of these pennies are worth a staggering $745,000 in today's market. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $750,000. What is the 1976 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny? First, let's talk about what makes this coin so special. The Lincoln cent or penny has been around since 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln. The 1976 version minted in Denver, that's the D Mint mark, isn't usually rare or valuable. But there's a particular version of this coin that's a true collector's dream. While most 1976 D pennies are common, a few of them were mistruck or produced with unique errors during the minting process. These errors are what drive the extraordinary market value. Why is this penny worth $745,000? Now, you might be wondering, why would a single penny be worth $745,000? The answer lies in rarity and condition. This isn't your everyday penny. The ones commanding such high prices are typically in mint condition, meaning they're flawless with no wear and a perfectly struck design. The 1976 D Lincoln penny's high value comes from a rare die error or proof version. When a coin has a unique mistake or comes from a limited minting run, collectors will pay top dollar. If your 1976 D penny looks perfect, and especially if it has a rare error, it could be worth much more than the 1 cent it says on the coin. How to identify a valuable 1976 D penny? So, how do you know if your penny is worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands? Here are some tips. This is a small letter D, just below the date on the front of the coin. No scratches, dings, or discoloration. The better the condition, the higher the value. Look for doubled mint marks, unusual indentations, or missing parts of the design. Coins are graded from poor, P1, to perfect mint state, MS 70. Only the highest grades fetch the big prices. If you spot anything unusual or your penny looks brand new, don't toss it. It might be time to have it professionally appraised. How to get the best price for your old coins? Okay, you've found your valuable penny. Now what? How do you sell it for the best price? Get a professional appraisal. Certified coin graders and appraisers can authenticate and grade your coin. The grading certificate can dramatically increase value. Use reputable auction houses. Places like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbauer specialize in rare coins and attract serious buyers. Local pawn shops or coin dealers may undervalue your treasure. Platforms like eBay can get you competitive bids but require careful listing and clear photos. Remember, patience is key. The right buyer might be out there willing to pay top dollar. Real-life success story. Let me share a quick success story. A collector in Ohio found a 1976 D penny in an old coin jar. After getting it graded as MS-70 with a rare mint error, they sold it for $745,000. Imagine turning your spare change into a fortune overnight. Final tips and takeaways: always handle coins carefully, preferably with gloves or by the edges. Store valuable coins in protective cases. Keep an eye out for coins from the 1970s. There are more hidden gems than you think, and most importantly, if you think you have a valuable coin, get it professionally evaluated. So, do you have any old pennies lying around that might be worth a fortune? It only takes one to change your life. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more treasure hunting tips, and share your coin stories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! We're diving deep into one of the most astonishing penny stories you'll ever hear. The 1989 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Believe it or not, this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth an incredible $745,000 today. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $750,000. At first glance, the 1989 Lincoln penny looks like any other. But this specific version, the no-mint mark variety, is extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. So what makes it so special? And how can you tell if you have one? The history behind the 1989 penny. Let's rewind for a moment. The Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, honoring Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Over the decades, there have been many changes in design, composition, and mint marks, little letters that indicate where the coin was made. The most common mint marks are D for Denver and S for San Francisco. But in 1989, pennies were primarily minted in Philadelphia, and typically, Philadelphia coins do not carry a mint mark. Now, here's where it gets interesting. In 1989, most pennies from Philadelphia should have no mint mark, but a vast majority were struck with a D mint mark, indicating Denver. The rare variety without the mint mark but struck with Denver dies is incredibly scarce. Why is the 1989 no mint mark penny so valuable? The no mint mark 1989 penny is an error coin, a mistake during the minting process. These error coins are prized because collectors love owning something rare and unique. This specific penny is one of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever found, and in top condition, its value skyrockets. Remember, condition is king when it comes to coin collecting. A penny that looks brand new, with sharp details and no wear, is worth way more than one that's scratched or worn down. How to identify the 1989 no mint mark penny? So how do you know if you have one? Here's what to look for. First, check the date. It has to be 1989. Look carefully where the mint mark should be, just under the date on the right side. If there's no mint mark, that's a good sign. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the coin closely. Make sure it matches the typical Lincoln penny design of that year, with no unusual features. And finally, the coin's condition matters. The better, the more valuable. Current market value. Now let's talk dollars. The 1989 no mint mark penny has recently been valued at around $745,000 in top condition by expert numismatists and auction houses. That's right, nearly $750,000 for a single penny. But keep in mind, not every penny you find will be worth that much. Coins must be authenticated by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, and they need to be in near-perfect shape. Should you sell your penny? Tips for sellers. If you think you might have one of these pennies, what's next? Here are some tips. Don't clean the coin. It can reduce its value dramatically. Get a professional appraisal. Find a reputable coin dealer or grading company. Avoid selling privately without expert advice to prevent scams. Consider auction houses that specialize in rare coins. And remember, patience pays off. Sometimes waiting for the right buyer can multiply your penny's value. How to protect and preserve your coins. To protect valuable coins, store them properly, in acid-free holders or coin capsules. Keep them away from moisture, extreme temperatures, and rough handling. This will keep your pennies looking pristine and preserve their market value. Closing remarks. So there you have it, the incredible story behind the 1989 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and why it could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars today. If you're holding on to old pennies, don't overlook the possibility that one might be a hidden treasure. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you have questions about your coins, drop a comment below. I love hearing your stories and helping you discover the value of your collections. Thanks for watching Rare Prices Coins World HD. Keep hunting for those treasures and remember, sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest fortunes. We're diving deep into the story behind the 2007 D Lincoln penny. Yes, the one with Abraham Lincoln on it, and why one version of it is rumored to be worth $745,000. Is it real? Is it hype? And more importantly, should you be checking your penny jar right now? Let's find out. First, let's talk about the coin itself. The 2007 D Lincoln penny is a 1-cent coin minted in Denver. That's what the D stands for. Over 3.7 billion were produced, which means it's a very common coin. At first glance, it features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. It's made mostly of zinc with a thin layer of copper, like all modern pennies since 1982. So why would a common coin like this be worth six figures? If you've been on TikTok, YouTube, or even seen news headlines, you might have heard this. 2007 D penny sells for $745,000. But let's pump the brakes. Where did this number come from? In many cases, this value is either a mistake, a clickbait rumor, or possibly tied to a very specific error coin, like one with a rare minting defect, a double die, or even the wrong metal composition. Most of the time, these pennies are only worth face value, unless you have one of the super rare varieties. So, Let's get into what you actually need to look for. Die errors: look for doubling on the lettering or Lincoln's eye. These are called double die obverse, DDO. Off-center strike: if the design is off-center or partially missing, it could be worth hundreds. Wrong planchet error: if the coin was struck on a foreign metal, like a dime planchet, it could be very valuable. High grade / mint condition: if your penny looks flawless, no scratches, no wear, and it grades MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, it could be worth hundreds or thousands. There have been a few high-grade examples of the 2007 D penny sold for over $1,000 to $2,000. But no official record shows a $745,000 sale yet. If you think you might have a rare 2007 D penny, the first step is to get it graded. Trusted services like PCGS and NGC can authenticate and grade your coin. Be aware, grading costs $30 to $75 per coin, so only send coins that actually have a shot at being valuable. Use a magnifying glass and compare your coin to known errors. There are lots of fake coins and exaggerated claims online, so stick to trusted sources. So you've got a coin you think is worth something, now what? Options for selling. eBay: great for direct-to-buyer sales. Search 2007 D penny error and filter by sold listings to see real prices. Coin shops: local dealers can make offers, but may offer less than retail value. Coin shows or auctions: reputable auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections are great for valuable, authenticated coins. Facebook groups / online communities: join numismatic forums to learn more and avoid scams. Let's be honest, 99.9% of 2007 D Lincoln pennies are worth 1 cent. A handful are worth a bit more. And a tiny fraction, with the right error and condition, could be worth hundreds or maybe even thousands. But the $745,000 value? It's most likely a mix of rumor, clickbait, or a misreported auction. Still, isn't it worth checking your coins? You never know what you might find. So grab that coin jar, look through your change, and keep your eyes peeled for errors. If you learned something today, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin videos, and comment below. What's the oldest coin you've ever found in your change? Maybe we'll feature your story next. We're diving deep into one very special coin, the 2008 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln 1 cent penny. It looks ordinary, but this tiny copper coin could be worth up to $745,000 on the collector's market today. Astonished face, so stick around. I'll show you what to look for, why it's worth so much, and how you can sell it if you have one. The Abraham Lincoln penny has been around since 1909, but not all pennies are created equal. In 2008, the U.S. Mint was preparing to change the design for Lincoln's 200th birthday in 2009. That makes the 2008 coins the last of their kind, the end of an era. But here's where things get really interesting. Some 2008 Lincoln pennies were struck without a mint mark, which is highly unusual. These are known as error coins, and collectors go wild for them. Normally, you'll see a D for Denver or S for San Francisco on the coin. No mint mark usually means Philadelphia, but that's not always the case. In rare cases, planchets, coin blanks, were misused or dies weren't properly marked, and that created the No Mint Mark 2008 pennies. What to look for? No D or S below the date. Now, let's talk numbers. Why would someone pay $750,000 for a penny? Thinking face: white heavy checkmark rarity. Only a few of these error coins are known to exist. White heavy checkmark condition coins in pristine condition, called MS67 or higher, are especially valuable. White heavy checkmark demand: coin collectors love rare errors, especially those with historical significance. One of these pennies sold at auction for $745,000. That's not a typo, but it must be in near-perfect condition and authenticated by a service like PCGS or NGC. So don't spend it just yet. Graded MS67 plus or better. Jackpot. Alright, let's see if you might have one of these rare coins. Pull out any 2008 Lincoln pennies you have. Check under the year. No D or S? That's a good sign. Look at the condition. Any scratches, dullness, or wear? It might not qualify. If it looks promising, get it graded professionally. Companies like PCGS or NGC will certify its value. No mint mark? High shine, nowhere, centered strike. If your coin checks all the boxes, it's time to sell smart. Briefcase Heritage Auctions, Major Coin Auction House Package Great Collections, Coin-specific auction site laptop computer eBay, only if you're experienced with coin buyers adult balance scale coin dealers. Certified ones with good reviews avoid pawn shops. They often don't know true coin values. Always get 2 to 3 appraisals before selling. So, do you have the $745,000 penny? Magnifying glass tilted left, go check your old coin jars. Ask your parents or grandparents, and don't overlook those old coins. If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might have rare coins lying around. Moneybag, and if you have a coin you want me to evaluate, drop a comment or send me a photo. Speech balloon, comment below with your coin story. Thanks for watching, and remember, treasure could be hiding in plain sight.